And so might be the best days of Lori Lightfoot. That's the mayor of Chicago, whose abysmal leadership through COVID is just the start of her problems. This year, Citadel, a giant hedge fund, pulled up stakes and went to Miami. Boeing left. The aircraft maker did its 20 years in the city, got the tax credits, and then skedaddled. And so far this year, 282 murders and 1,500 plus shootings. But she's kind of like the Teflon politician that Chicago media treats with kid gloves. Here's Lightfoot on sort of the same issue, just a few days apart.
Now we know what happened with the Supreme Court yesterday. And if you read Clarence Thomas' concurrence, he said, thank you, Clarence Thomas.
The toxicity in our public discourse is a thing that I think we should all be concerned about.
Oh, well, can't make it up. But you might remember we started talking about the Chicago Bears, an institution. Even they are so fed up with Lightfoot and her city, they might leave. Yeah, the Chicago Bears want to leave Chicago, which many hope might finally break through the Teflon of America's worst mayor. Jacob Infante's here, Bears writer, podcaster with Windy City Gridiron. Jacob, okay, for most Chicagoans, what's worse, having Lightfoot and the Bears still in Chicago, or both of them gone?
See, that is ultimately a very tough question to answer. I'd say that it's probably toughest to have both of them gone, which says a lot considering that there's all this controversy surrounding Lori Lightfoot. It's just that this is a very die-hard Chicago Bears. This is a football city first and foremost.
This is one of the iconic franchises. When you think about the NFL, you think about the Green Bay Packers, the New York Giants. If I don't say that, I'll get in trouble. You think about the Chicago Bears.
Yeah.
Those are the iconic franchises, Pittsburgh Steelers among them. The idea is that Lori Lightfoot, in order to keep the Bears and maybe keep her job, will give the Bears a dome over Soldier Field. Fair trade?
Ultimately, I feel like there's still way more work that needs to be done. From a Soldier Field perspective, you're looking at, okay, the building itself is decades and decades of years old. Only the Packers have been in their existing stadium for as long as the Bears. No other NFL team has been in their current stadium for as long. So you can add a dome, sure, but that still doesn't solve so many different issues that they have. You have to consider that parking's a nightmare. There aren't enough nearly lots or garages, and that can mess up traffic. Anybody who's been downtown Chicago on game day knows what I'm talking about. It's a nightmare. And plus the fact that Chicago doesn't own the stadium. That goes through the Park District. So if you have any of these non-football events, not only is it limited because of the fact that it's not, that there's no dome on top of it, but you're not getting nearly as much money. So
okay, so the Bears, in a word, have been terrible over the past 10 years. Yeah. Awful. What is the value to the city in spending hundreds of millions, if not a couple of $1 billion, that they don't have to keep them?
I think that a lot of it, especially comes down to Lori Lightfoot, like her approval ratings are generally low. I mean, I don't think that's necessarily a shocking statement for anyone to make, but I think when you consider the fact that, like I mentioned, this Chicago is such a big football city that if the Bears leave Chicago and they go to Arlington Heights at the Arlington Park property that they purchased, then that's just only going to make things worse for her, make her opinion in the grand scheme of things look worse. So I think if you're Lori Lightfoot, you're trying to do as many things as possible. And the fact of the matter is the Bears have all the leverage in this situation. So it's going to be tough.
Yeah, they have all the leverage. She has all the money, and it's not her money.
Yeah.
Are there any Bears fans who say, we're so fed up with Bears ownership, we're so fed up with Lightfoot, and we're so fed up with the money, just fine. If you want to go to Arlington Heights, go?
Yeah, no, I think that there's an increasing amount of Bears fans that want the team to move just because, one, all the stuff with the city, but two, Soldier Field's the second smallest stadium in the NFL. And it's old. It doesn't have enough amenities. Like, you're looking at the Raiders, the team that just got a new stadium, the same architecture firm that the Bears hired for their Arlington property. You're looking at, there are so many different amenities from retail stores to restaurants and stuff like that. There's so much for fans to do. You're not getting that at Soldier Field.
Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.